Good morning. We have a beautiful hour ahead of us with funky needlework, and of course we have got brand new items and brand new projects that you can create. And we have the woman behind funky needlework, the inspirational Josie. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm really good. Always excited to do a show together because you bring things that they're full of color, full of and cleverness as well.
Oh, thank you. I put everything I can into the designs to make them usable for everybody, so that there is something for everybody here today. We've got blocks, we've got curves, but not complicated curves. We've got applique, we've got all kinds of fantastic things I'm going to show you.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, before we get into details of what we have got in store for you, let's announce a winner, because we have run a competition on Facebook and we do have a winner to announce today. And congratulations to Kaylee. You have won the competition that you on Facebook for the craft store, and you can see in here. Now make sure to follow the craft store on Facebook, because you can see there's likes and comments, and they look at all the goodies that Kaylee have won. So if you don't want to miss out on beautiful giveaways, make sure to like us on Facebook. Right, let's get stuck into what we have here that Josie has brought us for us. Now we have got two options: the batik, which of course is this one, or the bold cottons. Now you are renowned for your batiks.
I am. I do love batiks. I like bright colours, but we don't like to exclude anybody. So we've put together an option for you. So you can either have the batik and the bright colours and mix them all up and get loads of fun, or you can have something a little bit more subtle, and you can have something a bit calmer perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's what we've given you here, which is the bold cotton.
That is absolutely stunning. I love both, but I have to say, of course, the key element as well is the easy peasy curvy quilt pack.
Absolutely. So this is a quilt pack that we put together with our rulers. So one of these rulers is brand new. Another one is that we haven't had on for a while because we ran out of them. They were so popular. So we've got it back on again, and I'm going to show you how to use those today. So I've got a wonderful example hanging up behind me of how to use the reverse applique ruler. It's really very straightforward, but you just get fantastic results with this. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a few minutes.
Okay, right. So we have, the ball. You remember the options are the batik or the bold cottons, and of course we have got the reverse applique ruler. And one of the questions: are they fat quarters?
They are long quarters.
Oh, so long quarters.
So you can, if you're a quilter, then sometimes you want fat quarters, sometimes you want a long quarter. Now, the reason I like long quarters is that you can get longer strips from them as well. So if you're going to cut it up anyway, but it just gives you more options so that you can use it for borders. So on the pink and blue quilt that we have an example of, I've used this purple as around the edge to trim it as a border, and it's a very straightforward way to put your border together.
Fabulous.
So that's why we have long quarters instead of fat quarters.
I really like that. Right, of course, remember the two different options, the bold batiks and the bold cottons. Now, you have fabrics in here. You also are getting both rulers, the reverse applique ruler, and the bundle web as well. So you are getting all this bundle. You also have 2 interest-free payment options with that saving of £15. Now, one-off payment £62.46, or 2 payments of £31.33. And that is what all you would be paying if you are a Freedom member. 931041 is your item number. Then we have the large ruler now. So this one is kind of the bigger version of the...
It is. So anything that you can do with the small ruler, you can do with the large ruler, but faster. So if you want a fast quilt top with lots of fancy curves in it that looks a lot more complicated than it actually is, then this is the one for you. I made you can get a quilt top in about 3 hours.
Wow.
Which is
3
pretty
hours.
good, about 3 hours, depending on how fast your sewing machine
let's say
goes.
4. Let's be concerned. You know, that sale is amazing.
Especially if you buy the fabric that's kind of already sort of in the bundle and it's chosen for you, then it's great. You just get the pack and off you go, and you're laughing.
That is amazing.
I could do probably front and back in probably a day. So that would be quite, I mean, you could actually buy that both bundles, or buy an extra bit of fabric and have a reversible quilt. So you could have it on both sides. That would work as well.
That's cool.
That's great.
That's really cool.
Change the decor of your room just by turning over the quilt.
Wow! 5778256 is your item number for the large simple curve ruler set. £22.99 is your price. Now, if you want it, well, you will find it on the website alongside with a lot of different other products, brand new CDs as well, and 5-star reviews galore. Now, if you will find it on the craftstore.com. That is our new website address, and you can see everything that Josie has brought in today, including the pre-cut fabric bundles as well. Now, all of them will be on the website, as I mentioned, thecraftstore.com, but you have got also bundles of 10 by 10 applique. Oh, those guys are gorgeous. And there is lots of boutique, which I love the uniqueness as well. The funky needlework bias tool thingy, I love that. You know, it's proper names, not just, you know.
have a different name, but we just kept calling it the bias tool thingy and just thought, you know, it's going to go back to being the bias tool thingy.
Absolutely. All right, now do make sure to check out your baskets, but we are here for the demonstrations, so take it away, Josie.
Okay, so in the first bundle, you're going to get the small triangle, which is the simple curve ruler, and you're going to get the reverse applique ruler. And I've split it up because you actually get 6 different pieces in this one ruler set, as well as the other one. So I'm going to show you how to do some of this. So behind me on the wall, there is a feathers. I've got feathers, which is this shape here, and all of the other bits that I'm going to put together. But I'm going to show you how to use the bigger piece of this ruler, first of all. So actually, for the piece behind me, I've used some of the Bondaweb, which is in the kit as well, because you also get Bondaweb. Now, the way to use Bondaweb is really very straightforward. You'll notice I've got 2 pairs of scissors, one with a piece of fabric on it, and one without. The one without is the one that you use for your Bondaweb, because I have separate scissors. So I'm just going to measure and see how big I need it to be, roughly. So I'm going to have just a small strip of this, and then I'm going to iron it. I've got a very hot iron, but with no steam. I don't use steam with this.
Okay.
That's great.
And that's included in the bundle.
That's included in the bundle. So you've got. So with the piece behind me, I had enough Bondaweb to do that whole piece behind me. So let us pick a colour. Would you like to pick a colour from one of these?
Oh, yes, open it up.
What colour do you fancy?
I do like that beautiful turquoise. I
Turquoise.
don't like that. Yeah,
Turquoise, we can do, that's fine. We'll have turquoise. Okay, so I'm going to bring the ironing board over here.
We do have those rolls of batik, don't we?
We do. I mean, these are this is one of the options later on the...
Fabulous.
So these are long quarters, and these are some of the variations that come in the bundles. So I'm just going to iron it first of all to make sure it stays. You don't want those little wrinkles in your finished quilt. Okay.
That looks like the waters of the Caribbean or the Mediterranean.
Oh, you could be anything, couldn't it? I mean, you could have really exotic flowers from this. It's great. There's my little. There it is.
Okay.
There's my little heaty thing. This is great. Okay. So gluey side down, you can tell the difference.
Okay.
So you've got paper side up, gluey side down.
All right.
And you're going to iron it on with a very hot iron, but no steam.
All right, that's important, right?
Well, you don't want to end up with paper mache.
Oh, I see. So that's what would happen if you had steam.
If you over steam it, that is a possibility. So we don't want to do that. And you'll notice that I'm ironing on the paper side with the glue side down. Now, if you're at all worried about your ironing board, so at the edge here, the little paper there is hanging over the edge. Just iron up to the edge of it, not over the edge like that.
Right. And why is that?
Because this is gluey here, and you don't want that glue to stick to your lovely ironing board.
Absolutely not, yeah.
No. I'm afraid I did that to my friend recently. I gave her a piece of this, and it was my fault totally. She took her ironing board because I didn't give her proper instructions. Right, okay, so then I'm going to remove the ironing board from underneath, and we're back onto this. So on the piece behind me, we have the purple flower at the bottom. And this is made up of loops. Now, this is something that you just think, well, how on earth do you get loops out of something like this? Well, a lot of it is folding. So I'm going to show you how to fold this fabric. So you just fold it over like this. And you're going to do 2 cuts with 1 ruler. I'm going to use a rotating board, but if you don't have one of these, that's okay. You can just turn your board around, but I don't want to have limited space. So you'll see on the curves here. So I'm going to cut on this side first, and I'm going to use this is a small rotary cutter, but if you don't have a small rotary cutter, it's absolutely fine to draw with a pencil, and you'll get your beautiful shapes, and then cut. So I'm just going to, there's a dotted line here, I'm going to put that on the fold, and I'm going to cut. Now you have to push quite hard because you're going through 2 layers of fabric and 2 layers of bondaweb. Lovely. Blade away before you turn it. And then I'm just going to turn the whole thing around. Oops. Pivot. Like that. And I'm going to cut on the inside curve now. Now when you cut on an inside curve, the thing to do is to lean out, if you like, with the rotary cutter. So I'm starting here, and I'm going to lean out. Because it's a nice gentle curve.
Follow the line, right?
Follow the line all the way around. Let me just see, did I get all the way through the layers? Oh, I can always put it back on.
You need to go back again.
I can go back on. Do you know, there's nothing like live television, is there?
Absolutely not.
To make sure you don't get through all of your curves.
You know what it looks like now as well? I don't know why I see the Eye of Osiris, the kind of Egyptian eye, you know.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give that a little tug, I think.
Oh, sorry, maybe I said it wrong. Horus, maybe.
Horus?
Maybe Horus eye? I don't know.
It could
Well,
be.
yeah. If you know about Egyptian gods, you know, email in.
So I'm just going to show you how to put this onto the fabric. So this is, I mean, it's just been ironed. It peels off really very straightforward. Whoops.
Yeah. And of course, if you go for the bundle with the batik option, you could be creating exactly this.
You know, this is a bit of it. Look at this. It's static. Nothing quite like that, is there? So what should we put it on? Should we put it on a little bit of lilac?
Oh.
That would be quite nice. I love the variety here. So you have a choice. So when you're doing this, if you were using these loops, you could either do several loops and cut them behind where you're going to join put them over, or, I mean, this looks quite arty on its own. Make sure, see there, I'll put it on a bit of warm and it's slightly tacky on that side. Turn it over and make sure that the glue side goes down.
That's important, right?
Very important, otherwise your iron will look very beautiful by the time you're finished.
Is it all right to do it?
I've wrinkled it there, but look, just peel it off. You've got a little bit of time to peel it up again.
Yeah, you peel it off. Oh, perfect.
There we go. So I've done it on the cutting board there, which is a bit naughty, really.
Well, you know, live TV, if we make all the mistakes live TV, so then we teach everybody
Shall
what not to do.
I put it back on the ironing board?
Yeah, there it
we
is.
go. Back on the ironing board. Just don't cut on your ironing board, that's all. Okay, that's much better.
I think we all feel better to see a professional, you know, it happens to everybody.
Now you see, look, see this lovely wonky bit there?
Yeah.
Look, this is what we do. We get the piece that we cut from the middle, and we put that over the top. So the piece I did yesterday, so you could, oh, look at that. Ooh. Look at how arty that is.
I like that.
Nobody would ever know that that was a fudge. We love a bit of a fudge, and you could put another one on the other side. So that's one way of getting those shapes there. I also want to show you how to do, there is some kind of grass shapes at the bottom. Now this is where the shape really comes into its own.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Because this is a bit special. I like this one. So I'm going to just cut some of this off so that I don't have too much in one go. Oop. Okay. Rotary cutter. Again, I'm using a rotary cutter that's a small one, and I'm going to use this wiggly edge here. Now this is specially designed so that you can do this really, really simply. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on here, on the ironing shape, as far over as I can so that I don't waste anything.
Right.
And I'm going to cut up there. Up to the point at the top, and then I'm going to move it over slightly so that I've got the same wiggle but slightly over, and just the point meets at the top.
Such a nice curvy line, isn't it?
It's lovely. And then I'm going to leave it on at the bottom and move it over that way.
No. Ah, so that would be really nice for under the sea, like the, you know, like
seaweed.
seaweed, yeah.
Absolutely. Leave none at the top. You see, it doesn't matter if it moves slightly because it's absolutely, it just works really well.
And the sea waves as well.
Oh yeah, you could do all kinds of things with this shape.
And even hills as well. I'm going in the
Hills.
landscape.
We are going all over the place with this one. It's absolutely fab. And just one more, I think, on
Yeah,
that.
you can see all that. That is absolutely. And that one ruler, that's all those possibilities.
All with just this one piece of this ruler.
Yeah.
So you can see there that I'm just going to trim off the bottom. Make sure I don't trim off the points of my other piece.
And then the bottom, and then you have. And there is no waste either.
No waste at all. That's absolutely lovely. And that will just peel off. You get these both sides.
Yeah.
Lots of different variations. You're not going to get two exactly the same, unless you want them exactly the same. And you've got, if I just cut them off at the other end as well. And there we go. Look at that. Now, isn't that fantastic? That kind of wavy, undersea, wonderful scape. So there's just one more thing I want to show you with this ruler before we move on to another thing. So I just really want to show you this one. So this is, in the ruler, you'll notice that there are pieces within pieces. So this is the feather, and I just cut round the feather, and that was great. We could just use that one as whatever you wanted to use it for. Feathers work really well. All the feathers on the piece behind me are exactly the same size. Now, people often think that they have to have different sized feathers, but they don't. You just spread them out further at the bottom, and then as you go up, you bring them closer together.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah. And the pieces in the top are also, there. So the flower, that's also the droplet that's in this ruler set as well. And I've just really played with the colours in the fabric to make a flower. Who knows what the flower is? We just don't really know. So I'm just going to do one more little thing because I want to show you this very, very quickly.
By the way, if you want to go for the reverse applique ruler on its own, we do have that as well. £24.99. Of course, a different item number. However, the saving is when you go for the full bundle. But if you just want to go for the applique ruler, £24.99. 751255 is your item number.
Brilliant. So we've got here, this is the piece from the middle of there. And I just want to show you how you can use this in different ways. Oh,
Do you recommend going with a smaller rotary trimmer for all this kind of curvy shapes?
I always prefer to use a small rotary cutter if I'm doing arty pieces or curvy pieces, or because also you can use it freehand. So if you're confident, you can use a rotary cutter freehand. If you're, and then I prefer a larger rotary cutter for if I'm cutting off the bolts of fabric or cutting up fat quarters or
what
strips.
is it? 28 millimeters?
This is 18 millimeters. 18 millimeters. This is the tiniest one that I can find. Again, this is for sale on the website as well. So we've got one size there, but if you want to have a different size, or if you want to use the reverse applique, so pencil. I'll get my pencil out. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the tiny little dot which came, and this is. Do you remember there was a little toy when we were kids? There was a toy. So very, very gently, you can go around this. Whoops. Very, very gently, and you can get a curved point. So that's one option, and you can reverse applique, and you can cut this piece out then, and then you know where to cut up to or where to tuck into when you reverse applique. So that's one option. The other option is that you use the, so you get different sizes, you get the large ruler and you put that inside. So, and you get more than one size because you can see how you can cut that out then. But if you want to do, there we go. So this is the large ruler with that piece. You also get a 1/2 inch and a
So you have got both options.
So you've got various different sizes, and it works just as well. So I'll do it with the 1/2 inch first.
So these ones are included
These are
in the reverse,
included.
so it's part of the design.
Absolutely.
And could we use them for other shapes as well?
Yes, this will work on other shapes too. So if you are a person who likes reverse applique,
And what does it mean, reverse applique, exactly?
so reverse applique, so if I were reverse appliquing this, I would probably cut the middle piece out.
Yeah.
I'm just freehand following the line that we've drawn. This is why I like the 18 millimeters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then, because we've got that perfect line,
Oh, I see.
we can cut up to it.
Yes, and it goes
and then
inwards.
turn the pieces in.
Yeah.
And if you're a hand stitcher, then this is just ideal. So if I turned that over, I would know exactly where to turn that over, and I'd give that a little line and stitch that down.
Now
and that is the reverse applique ruler. This is just so many versatile different ways to use this.
Yeah,
It's
fabulous.
incredible. So the other side of this long ruler is the outer shape of the large leaf behind me as well.
Yeah.
Loads of different places, the shapes on that one, and I'll show you the other ruler in a minute.
Absolutely, we will see. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, Josie, for showing those incredible things that you can do with reverse applique. Beautiful ruler. You have also, of course, the 2 different options in here. You have the bulk cottons and the batik option. Whichever option you are going to is, of course, 8 different beautiful long quarters. I'm going to open this one up because I just think it's just such a glorious one, just so you can see the beautiful fabrics that Josie has put. Now, you may get a slightly variation on colors or variation on tones, but it will always work perfectly together, and you are going to get the long quarters. Now, absolutely gorgeous, and there's so much you can do. Of course, this size is kind of selected to work with the tools that Josie has designed for you to use in this amazing bundle. Then you have, of course, you do have the Wonder Web as well here, and you also are getting the smaller ruler here as well. They kind of gorgeous, and now the simple curvy ruler, you can see curvy ruler set, which of course comes in with the pieces. I love that you have got the inside, so instead of just giving you one tool, Josie has given you every single thing that you need for even make the most of it with that spacer that gives you. This one is 1/4 of an inch, so that could be a seam allowance. You could use it with other tools as well, but those bits are very, very handy to have as well, right? If you are to go for this bundle, you have a £15 saving, £31.23 could be the first payment that you pay today, and of course you pay the same amount next month, or £62.46. Right, moving down to the large curvy ruler here. Now this is a really large size. Again, you have got the inner bits in here with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance element in here, designed by Josie. Of course, you can see it here. This is the large simple curve ruler set. £22.99 is your price. 577826 is your item number. Right, we do have pictures that Josie has sent in before the show. And look, Josie, could you talk us through exactly what did you use for this beautiful quilt?
So this quilt is the large ruler, and this is the bold cotton fabrics. And this is, the idea of this is that you can put all your blocks together, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. And then you can do one sweeping curve all the way across the ruler, across the quilt. It works with, so you don't have to do a lot of quilting, although you can if you want to. It's a fabulous, clever thing to do.
It is, absolutely. It looks gorgeous. It's kind of that wavy things. And we have got more as well. Now this one, is it kind of similar, right? On the
This is the same, it's the same ruler, but with extra pieces put in, and I'm going to show you how to put the extra pieces in as well.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So it's just a variation on the same theme, really.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, we have got beautiful fabrics for you from, of course, Funky Needlework. It wouldn't be, you cannot do a show without having amazing batik pieces. Well, we have got 2 options here. Now, we have got here the pre-cut bundle that you are getting the 50 hexagons and 50 triangles. You have the gorgeous glorious batik option that you can see in there. Beautiful parts in there. You have the pattern batik as well as the sold batik, the solid colors, that mix of pattern. And you know, it's always, I'm amazed about batik that being completely unique pieces. It's never too identical.
I love the colour of the batik. The dye going all the way through it just makes it so easy for all kinds of projects. You just don't have to worry about which way up to use it. It doesn't fray as though some other fabrics can do. It's a fantastic thing.
It is absolutely fantastic. You have an £8 saving, but you do have that £8 saving as well with the bold cottons in here. If you prefer a more of the cotton sort of pattern, traditional quilting cottons, you have them here. Again, color, because of course Josie is renowned for those beautiful colors in there as well. Now £24.99. Remember, you are getting 50 triangles and 50 hexagons and your item number is 081736. And of course you can find it all at thecraftstore.com. That's our new website. Then if you wanted to go for a larger pieces for applique, then we have got a bundle for you as well. Here we have got the gorgeous batik, and you can see, I mean, I strongly recommend to go for this one because you are getting the 10 by 10 squares, the 6 by 6 and the 3 by 3. Now you are getting 15 pieces of each size, and of course counters will vary because batik is all the time it's unique, every piece, every inch, and that's the beauty of it, and it kind of creates absolutely incredible projects. Right, 848700 is your item number for that one, and absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at that, look at it. And also batik has that kind of reversible nature to it that you can kind of bring it into. Oh, look at that, the colors as well that you bring in as well, absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. Oh, look at that red. Oh, I love that red. Of course I love red, but then it's just the lime green. There is so many beautiful colors and of course patterns in that bundle. Right, that is the 10 by 10, the 6 by 6 and the 3 by 3. Remember, you are getting 15 of each. You have got different options as well here, because if you want to go for just I believe this is the, is it different? A different one. This is the 6 by 6. So this one you will get the 30 pieces in total of 6 by 6, and you have got two different options. Again, you have got the bolt cottons at the top, and then at the bottom. That's you know what button means in Spanish? It's well, button. So it's not very difficult, is it? But anyway, you have got the batiks in the lower parts of the counter. And then you have the gorgeous, beautiful colors in here. My brain has switched to Spanish, so it's kind of a little bit of a rumble in there. A gorgeous greens, a lovely patterns. I love this, and those reds as well. So this is, of course, the batik option. And if you go for the cotton option, let's have a look at those ones next, because you have an array of different pattern solids as well. Oh, look at this. Even these ones, you can see that there is the love of batik is coming through, even though it's a printed cotton. But a little bit of Japan in here with those beautiful flowers and sakuras, those bold prints as well. It's definitely, I would say, this is a statement. This is kind of bold. This is beautiful. This is a kind of thing that you will have lots of fun with, those beautiful tone-on tones as well as those kind of more, you know, more kind of feature fabrics as well. Love that. Rain, little hearts, ice creams, as well as flowers. Everything into one fabric. And then you have, oh, this one kind of with that gold printing as well with the peacock feathers. So many different fabrics in here. Remember, it's 6 by 6. You are going to get 30 pieces in total, whichever you go for, the bold cottons or the beautiful batiks. 935-338 is your item number. Now, one thing that, of course, Josie is renowned to bring us with the funky needlework is the scrap pieces of bags, the bags of offcuts, the bag that is a kind of a treasure chest of beautiful batiks in here. Now this one you will get 100 grams, so contents will, it's not may vary, it will vary because it is offcuts. So you will have a variety of different sizes, a variety of different colors, and sometimes this is the great thing because even pieces like this. If you are a quilter, you immediately think, well, if I'm doing applique, I can cut a leaf. But even if you are a quilter, you're thinking, well, if I just sew this bit in here, or you can use it as a binder even if it's a tiny bit of binding, you will have that color coming through it. So you can use things like this for different projects that it kind of really brings the zesty colors out of the batiks as well. And I love that. Of course, being reversible batik, the dye kind of goes through, seeps through the fibers, and you have got two options, a slightly more muted and a little bit slightly more vibrant. But that also means that lots of these firm fabrics, especially batik, is multi-directional as well. So if you are a newbie, one of the things that is really easy is when you have got multi-directional fabrics, so you don't have to worry about where does that directional print go. So if you want to go for the batik offcuts, the contents will vary. £16.99 is your price. 009146 is your item number. Right, and of course that is the offcuts, but we do have other fabrics for you. We have got the ombre sparkle because it's coordinated with coordinating fabric. I absolutely adore them. So here you have the greens in here, absolutely glorious. I love that ombre with the sparkle. I think it's one of my favorite fabrics. I just think it's just vibrant, it's just fun, and of course you have that green option. Then we are moving on to the pink option. Again, you are getting that ombre, but you also are getting the matching batik in here, which is really fabulous because it kind of suddenly pops up those beautiful pinks throughout. And remember that the confetti or sparkle, it is actually printed with beautiful shimmer. I'm not cannot touch it because I'm you're being careful here, but you can see that there is a lot of shimmer coming through in here. Now this is the blue option, and again with the salt, and then we have the yellow in there as well. Right, you can see that, and then you can see them there, the yellow. And then, of course, we do have as well the other option, the charcoal, which is absolutely beautiful. And I love that the pattern of the fish as well, because that's the other thing. With those curvy rulers, we could do fish as well, so we could do a big bold pattern there. And the final option that we have in this ombre sparkle that we have got here is, of course, the orange here that you can see. It's more of it's a red orange. Yeah, I would say it's more a watermelon, tomato, but more orange than red, but still kind of comes across a little bit red in there. And then, of course, you have that batik with a glorious, like tiny flag celebrating the arrival of spring, the arrival of beautiful color. Right, and of course, you can find all of that on the website, but 9848649 is the item number, and then you choose whichever option you want to go. Now, we have an applique pack for you, and then, of course, we have this. So this is a 10-inch applique pack. You are getting 15 pieces in total for £16.99. You have got two different options, the batik or bolt cotton. Of course, we do have got those two options there. 345045 is your item number. And then we have Steam Seam, the bundle that, of course, Jussie brings and is always ever popular. Steam Seam, and you can see there a duo of that, and you can see the details coming up. 020204 is your item number. You are getting two of the Steam Seam and two black cotton bias bundle. £29.98 is your price for that one. Now, if you wanted to go for just one single one of those bundles, like just one Steam Seam and the black cotton bias bundle, £14.99 is your price. That has got a different item number. It has got just the one. 175889 is your item number. Right, Josie, back to you.
Brilliant. I'm just going to show you very quickly, because you mentioned the scrap bag, how useful those tiny little pieces of green fabric are, because I've used some tiny little green strips here with the square ruler. So if you fold fabric, you can see where this has come from. So if I folded a tiny little offcut like this over and put the fold on there and cut around there,
oh, I see.
This is the shape that you get. So this is the tulip. So this is a deliberately lopsided, I hate that word, but it makes sense. Yeah. Uneven, no, that doesn't sound right either. It's a
lopsided, that's
lopsided. It's a lopsided shape, but it's deliberately lopsided.
Asymmetrical.
That's the word. Oh, do you know? I think your Spanish and your English are excellent. So we've got, so the asymmetrical shape I've used for the two sides of this tulip. And for the middle piece, I've used the larger side of that ruler folded down the middle. So
Okay.
there, so that is just one of the tiny little extras that you can get from the scrap bags. And then a little bit of wiggly stitching up there, and you've got a stalk, and that's a whole tulip. That's a quilt in itself, really. So again, with this one, you get the 1/4 inch piece, and you add that on. But I'm going to show you how to use the triangle to get the lovely curves.
Yep.
So I've used some of these are the 6x6s. So I'm going to show you how to stitch them together to get this wonderful curve. And the best way to get a square ever is to fold over make a triangle, trim it off beautifully. So you're on the hypotenuse, so the long side of the triangle. Cut up, and then we're just going to cut across there as well. And that gives you the perfect little triangle.
Yeah.
So you have choices. You can either have it out like that, or you can have it folded over as the triangle. So the same thing, you do the same thing. I've used some of the smaller pieces. So there's the mixed applique pack. And let's do this one here for trimming off this one as well, because we don't want to have any waste. So you see that the lines on here are perfect, perfectly positioned.
That makes sense.
That's great. So I'm going to move it over as far over as I can.
So you have thought through it so well.
I just don't like waste, you see.
No,
I like
absolutely.
all of these tiny little shapes to be as perfect as they can be. Pull that away to make sure. Right, so here's some I did earlier. So these are, it's actually squares. So I'm going to leave the bottom one out as a square and cut these up and put them on here. Now the thing to do is, before you start putting your pieces together, is stitch down each side. If you don't, well, let's just say you wouldn't be alone to make a mistake doing that, put it that way. So I'm just going to cut one more piece for this side, and then I'm going to get the sewing machine up. So what colour do you think we should actually have? Another orange one for this side? I think we should.
That's a beautiful
I love
orange.
this. All right. Well, orange happens to be my favourite colour. I think it's because the more my hair is fading,
Okay.
the more I feel the need for orange.
It's a colour that I think I don't reach for it, but if I don't put it into a colourful composition, it kind of is missing sometimes. You need it, a little bit of orange or yellow.
Just a little bit of zing. That's all you need. So I'm going to stitch these together. The sewing machine up.
Okay.
Now then, I had a little wobble on the table earlier on, so if the sewing machine goes all wobbly, you're not allowed to blame me.
But and let's blame live TV, let's blame the table. You know,
It's
it
been a
always
day
happens.
of that. Right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to, actually, I'm not even going to pin them. I'm just going to start at the point, at the corner with all these layers. Now, because I'm going through lots and lots of layers, I'm going to lengthen my stitch, because the stitch has to go further. And when you lengthen your stitch, remember to slow it down, because otherwise you go galloping off. I'll just, shall I pin it? No. Let's be brave. 1, 2, 3.
It's always good to be brave.
Let's be brave, because let's face it, that is what we will do when we're at home.
Exactly.
So I'm going to stitch it on with slightly less than 1/4 inch. Find that better? There it is. Slightly less than 1/4 inch. So I've got my 1/4 inch foot on, so I can see where not to stitch up to, because I don't want this seam to appear anywhere else afterwards when I'm finished. You'll find that I'm not going backwards at the end. This is really just to secure it in one place while I'm doing this.
And you are not even doing 1/4 inch seam or anything?
I'm just holding it in place. Now then, I've got
It's
to the
almost
end
like
of there.
tacking it, right?
It is. It's more or less tacking it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the next one on, because why take it out and waste that lovely little piece of thread? I don't waste things. Move it over.
Yeah, waste. What is it? Waste not, one not? Or?
Yeah, something like that. Okay. So again, we're not doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh.
Needle up. Now they're together, so I'll just give it a little snip, and then I'll do the other two sides and then stitch them together and show you what you do. So I've got 2 sides done. Now if you're feeling brave, you can just carry on and not stitch the other 2, but I'm not that brave. So I'm going to turn it over because I always sew from the same direction.
Okay.
So pieces underneath, and it means that they're definitely going to be flat.
Right, yeah. So that's why you don't want to sew from the same direction.
I want them the same direction because if you stitch from the other direction on the top, it might twist. And you don't want any twisting in this because you want this to be a lovely effect. And remember that this is the small version of this ruler. So you saw how fast I just did that. And if you wanted to do a large version, this would be really, really quick. I'll just put that down again for a second. Okay, so I'll turn this over and cut those off. Now, can you see how, I mean, you could just do a straight, you can play with these whichever way you like, but actually what I'm going to do is turn them that way around. And then with my pin cushion, which is there, I'm sorry about the state of my pin cushion, I really apologise. Oh, actually, just while I've got the pin cushion here, see these tiny little pieces? If you're a person who gets things lost sometimes, which I occasionally do, the place to keep them is with a big pin on your pin cushion, and then you're not going to lose it.
That's a smart.
So it looks like that.
That's a top tip.
That is a brilliant tip, and so please do that. Right, okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just peel these back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So peel that one back.
That's where the curve comes in.
This is where the curve comes in. Curve that one back, and curve that one back.
That's so clever.
That's brilliant. And then you can see the curves. But actually, if I stitch these together before I pin that one, so I'll take those out for a second while I stitch these two together.
So you sew them together, join them together.
And then do one sweeping curve.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to sew them together now, face to face, down the right edge. Those two together, that's great. This is why we needed to secure them in place.
Okay.
Lengthen the stitch again. That's it, that's brilliant. And you're going through even more layers now, but this time you do have to do a 1/4 inch stitch down the edge. Then I'm actually, can you see how they join up beautifully?
Yeah, perfect.
I'm not going to pin them. I'm just going to start stitching across and go in one continuous curve. So I'll start at one side. Now I might have ironed this in between usually, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. Yeah. Let's be adventurous.
Adventurous and brave. That's the key thing, right?
Absolutely. Well, all quilters are quite brave, aren't they?
Absolutely. Love that curve. It's kind of. Oh look how they.
And this is how you get that lovely curve that goes right across. So when you've got your, if you imagine all your big pieces of quilting, all your blocks put together, and then you just do, for your quilting, this goes through all the layers, all the way across. Go back to the beginning and start your next wiggle.
We can, if you need some time to get it ready, shall we do a recap, quickly in there?
Great.
All right, of course, thank you, Josie. Now, of course, if you want to go for the bundle, that has a £15 saving. If you are thinking, oh, I like the reverse applique ruler, I like the easy curves set, the small one, why not go for the bundle? Because then you are getting also the wonderwear. You are also getting the amazing, the fabrics strips. They're not fabric strips, they are long quarters, which sometimes the strips we think that they are 2.5 inches long or wide. Now these ones, let me open another one. Oh, I love this. Because if you go for the batik option, you might be getting this piece. And remember, batiks are completely unique. Every single inch, the process of creating that dye-based element when the ink seeps through it and there is that resist ink or the resist batik, the wax. It's just phenomenal. Having the long quarters, not fat quarters, if they're long, they're not short, fat. Anyway, just Sorry. It's just kind of one. Oh, look at this one. I need to open this one. Sorry, can I open this one? Because this one is absolutely glorious. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't it just beautiful? Those beautiful turquoise and of course those grays and the background is absolutely, this is I think my favorite. But remember, of course, being batik, Josie will put a selection of absolutely stunning fabrics for you that coordinate beautifully. But the thing is, when you are having batiks and beautiful colors, everything coordinates, everything goes together. And also it's great to have, sorry, Molly, I don't have your skills to fold the fabric that well, but that is of course the batik option. And then you have the bold cotton option. Again, shall I open, which one shall I open? Oh, shall I open the birds? Let's open the birds, because again they are long quarters. So you can see them here, how all the way down. So this is a perfect size as well to bring the applique rulers in there, those beautiful wings and those beautiful birds in there. Right, if you want to go for this bundle, remember that you are getting the, well, shall I say, now I cannot read it, I cannot say it. The easy peasy, can you put the descriptions? Oh, now there it is, easy peasy curvy quilt pack. There it is. I can do it in one go.
I don't do it on purpose, I promise.
some of the girls do. So kind of. But if you want to go for this quilt pack, remember you are getting both templates, rulers, which you can use time and time again. You have also a Flexi-Buy option, and you have that saving of £15. If you want to Flexi-Buy, £31 and 23 pence is all you will be paying if you're a Freedom member, because you don't pay P&P. 931041. And with that, back to you, Josie.
There we go. So we now have, this is the...
Ooh. That's gorgeous.
Do you know how hard it is to straighten something when you're looking at a screen? It's the wrong way around. There we go. That's as straight as I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
So you get the curve, the sweeping curve, and that's 3 different colours in your curve there. Can you imagine how colourful that was going to be? So I'm just going to show you how to actually, there's a what we call, well, we think it looks a bit like a dog's nose poking through a fence.
Oh, yes, it could be, yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay, so the same thing applies with this little piece here. We can have several different sizes of this lovely piece. So we get my piece of fabric, which is... there we go. We'll have a green one. I have a green one because I'm just looking for one that we can actually see the colours on, the pencil drawing on. So I'm just going to iron that a little bit. Oops.
Okay, yeah.
Iron it a little bit, get some of this wrinkles out.
Right. Right.
Okay, so.
Right.
And I'm going to use the right thing this time and cut on this, not the other one. Okay, so we've got this shape here, and you can either, you have a choice, you can either cut around it with the inside of here and get one size shape. So let's get one size shape, because some people don't like to use the Bonder Web. Some people just prefer to be cutting as they go. So I'm just going to use this all the way around and get this shape.
Okay.
Now then, I haven't gone all the way into the corners because that doesn't work with this one. But, so that's the shape you're going to get there. But if you wanted to have 2 different sizes, 3 different sizes even, so you've got this size that you've already got. You can have this size. So that's...
Okay.
And this one.
All right.
Kind of show you this one. So when you're doing your pictures, your pictorial quilts, your leaves and applique, all of those things, they work really well with this size. You get all of these sizes, these templates. And then, where's this one? So you can also put it on the outside. So this is 5 different sizes.
So you can do 5 different sizes?
From just these little sets here. That's why this ruler set is such a good idea. Put the next one on. Okay. If I take my time, this doesn't happen. Okay. There we go. Look at that. And again, if you fold it over and cut it, that works just the same way. Look at all those different sizes with just those pieces there.
Oh,
That's the huge variety. That
it is a huge, and also of course that means like kind of almost becomes different shape. I mean, it's kind of sort of the same shape, but it's slightly different.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I mean, if you wanted to have eyes on a face on a quilt or something like that, you can use this. You could use it for leaves. You could use it. I mean, you could even use. Oh,
yeah, the
there
eyes.
we go.
Yeah.
We've got a little eye shape.
Glasses and glasses. I kind of see glasses
all
as well.
kinds of clever things with this shape.
Yeah.
It's a marvelous shape to use. So the other thing is that I wanted to show you that this larger piece, this larger ruler works really well with the long quarters.
Yeah. We have got about 5 minutes till the end of the show.
Okay, that's brilliant. So we'll use this one. So you want this to make the best use of your fabric. So what you do is you fold it over and just cut them off as you come to them. So these are the long quarters that are in the pack. Fold it back to there. Pop it on. And you can see. And the other thing that you can do is if you buy both, you can combine the sizes. These markings are perfect for even just if you just want to make yourself squares. You don't have to have anything else on there other than how fabulous is that? It's perfectly square.
Beautiful.
Give a little tug there. And the next one you can do is, let's do one of these. So this would work with the 10 by 10s, the 6 by 6s, and the 3 by 3s. So we'll put this over. You get lots and lots of shapes out of this.
And you can make it perfect.
You can make it absolutely perfect. Look at that. You can get 3 sizes out of this, like that. So we can have the small one. Now on the quilt, on the pink quilt, the pink and purple quilt, which I actually made with the ombre sparkle fabric, which is hanging up on the wall behind us.
The pink and purple quilt is one of the ones that you took some pictures, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I made that with those two fabrics, but I also made bow shapes in the middle of them. If you see, and the way we do the bow shapes is like this. So you can cut more than one layer at once. So I cut a couple off and made sure that the corners that were opposite one another. So I folded it over. The corners that were opposite one another had the same colour on them. And when they come back, you get little bows in your quilt.
Okay.
Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cutting through 4 layers of fabric.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So if I were putting them on here, they would be on, say, this corner.
Ah, I see. That's the corner.
And this corner of the fabric. So if I had, let's lay these out so we can see this properly. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you had lots and lots of random shapes and you wanted to introduce some kind of pattern through your quilt, this is how you can do it with the smaller pieces like this. Because if I introduce those together and peel those back, you get the bow pattern that's on the thing. Also, if you want a deep curve, so on the pink and purple quilt, on the corners, the way I've used the ombre fabric so that I've cut it open so that the colour is more, the darker pieces are at the middle. At the sides, you'll notice that there are some deeper curves, and they are done with the smaller triangles on the corner, and the more graduated curves that are done with the larger triangles on the corner.
Right.
So you can mix it up a bit, and you can have. So if you had a larger triangle on your 10 by 10, so 10 by 10. With a larger triangle on the corner and peeled back is going to give you a very gradual curve. 10 by 10 with a smaller one on is going to give you a deeper dip in it.
And that makes a perfect
corner.
corner.
That makes a huge difference to them all.
Yeah. Deep corner. Oh, I love that. It's just so clever and so smart.
There's just so many different ways to use all of these little pieces together.
We have got seconds to go. Josie, it's been a pleasure as always. We will. When are you back?
The middle of next month. And you know, I promised myself I was going to write it down somewhere, and because I always get to this stage and the date is gone. So, but the middle of next month, I will put it on Facebook when I'm going to be on next month.
Well, we look forward to seeing you next month. And at home, do check out your baskets. Remember the different options to go for the rulers on their own, or of course that bundle that has that £15 saving. Remember to check out your baskets. Remember all the different options, but make sure that you get yours by checking out the baskets at the craft store. Thank you so much, Josie. We'll see you next month then. Lovely to have you here, but obviously lovely to have your company. And stay tuned for more here at the craft store with Yanis.